It's Monday, January 12th, 2009, and that means that this week includes Appreciate a Dragon Day. I bet you didn't know that January 16th was Appreciate a Dragon Day. I didn't, but I'm sure that the person who created it was a mom. This is Penny Hallgren from QuiltBlockLibrary.com, and this week, because it's Appreciate a Dragon Day in this week, I'm going to show you how to sew the dragonfly quilt block together. This looks like a block that might present us some challenges, but I think we're up for it. The reason I think that a mom created Appreciate the Dragon Day is that when my son was growing up, we used to watch Pete's Dragon all the time. Actually, my daughter Stephanie, who's a quilter too, liked that movie too. So the three of us would sit down and probably for a year, at least once a week, we watched Pete's Dragon and marched around the house singing the Pete's Dragon song. Not that I can remember what it is now, but in any case, it brings back fond memories. So I'm ready to start sewing on the dragonfly block. Let's go over to the machine. This is a 4-patch, and you can see that 2 patches are completely the same, that are on opposite corners of the block. So what I've done is I've cut my fabric in these 2 sets of patches and just stacked the fabric on top of each other. So it's more obvious here because you see all I have are 2 basic sets of patches. So the first thing I'm going to do is sew these outside triangles to the center. And I'm going to do it, I can do the same thing for both of the sets of patches because they're identical except for colors. The colors are just reversed. So I'm going to go ahead and put those right sides together and stitch them together. The next step is to attach the other triangle. So I'll just fold these right sides together. And you just want to make sure that when you fold this open and across the seam that you have at least 1/4 inch seam allowance with a tip so that this triangle will be sewn together. It'll be nice and sharp. And of course you want to sew these bottom ones together too. So the outside triangle into the center triangle. Now I'm going to sew these little bottom triangles on and then we'll have squares. Yay! The one thing I want to be sure is that I sew my seam allowances down the way that they were sewn down before. So in this one the seam allowances are sewn to the outside. So I just want to make sure when I attach this triangle that they get sewn in the same direction. Now I have squares that are ready to be sewn together. So square patches, 4 of them, and I've placed them the way that my block is designed. Actually it's just light on the outside, light on the inside, light on the outside, light on the inside. So I've got that light, 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 light. So we're ready to sew them together. All we need to do is put the top ones facing each other and stitch those together. And I'm just going to stitch down, chain sewing those 2 patches, those 2 sets of patches together. Top pair is sewn together and the bottom pair is sewn together. So all I need to do is put these right sides together and stitch the center seam. And then that block will be finished. Our dragonfly block is all finished, and this turned out pretty cute. On behalf of children everywhere in every generation, I encourage you to go Appreciate a Dragon on January 16th. This is Penny Hallgren from QuiltBlockLibrary.com. Thanks for joining me, and if you haven't already, visit QuiltBlockLibrary.com and get your free download of this dragonfly pattern. Thanks again, and peaceful piecing.